4 hours of lyric writing, 2 days of sampling, 2 days of sample processing, 2 days for skeletons, and 3 days for fleshing the songs out. That is what my current process timing is for writing and recording an album. Literally, it was 9 days and 4 hours. And as far as hourly, how much time I was spending on it a day, I wasn't actually spending entire days on writing the last thing. Roughly 8 hours a day of fleshing out songs. And the 2 days for skeletons, I was just trying to get out my ideas quickly so I could have a basic skeleton of the song, and so I'm not entirely sure how long that took. I spent probably 4 to 6 hours in total on that. 2 days of sampling, those 2 days were 2 or 3 hours for movie sampling and 2 or 3 hours for going out in the environment here in Calgary, actually specifically downtown in Calgary. Sample processing was a lot shorter because I seem to have a system with that. That was probably 4 to 6 hours both of those days. And lyric writing total was 4 hours, but usually what I do is when I'm writing an album worth of lyrics, it's not a couple of days or every few days or whatever it is. It's usually I'll just sit down and just get right into writing lyrics, and I usually spend one dedicated long day of lyric writing for an entire album. And this last thing that I did took 4 hours, so that's roughly 4 hours. It might have been 4.5, but in total, yeah, 9 days, 4 hours on writing this last thing. I'm not going to tell you the title of it yet because it doesn't come out until January, so January of 2025. Yeah, I'm that far ahead in music production, and I have 5 albums in the tank, roughly 4 or 5 albums in the tank. Basically, how I started the process was, the first thing was lyric writing, the second thing was sampling, and I spent a day in studio sampling movies off of VHS tapes, and then another day of going out into the environment and sampling various sounds and things in the Calgary downtown. And then I did skeletons of songs, and that took me a couple of days, and then it was another 3 days worth of actually fleshing out the songs and doing guitars and vocals and stuff like that. How the sessions ended, the last session, basically I was writing the 3 days that I spent fleshing out songs. I was literally, the first day I completed 3 songs. The second day, I think there's 14 or 15 songs on the album, or maybe 16. The second day I did 5 or 6 songs, and the third day I did 5 or 6 songs. So yeah, something like that. That is actually a record for me. I've never really done that before, fleshing out songs in that quick order. Most of the time I usually, well, I say most of the time, but in the past it would be like 3 or 4 songs a day, and now it's now it's turned into 5 or 6. I guess some of the challenges were not really, sometimes not feeling like it. I usually work through that feeling, and that's the one thing, if I haven't mentioned this before in a previous video, that's the one thing I found that's super helpful, is having goals when it comes to writing music and music production. Like, I do have an end goal as far as where I want to see, as far as how much music I want to produce in the next couple of years. And I also, when I have actually sitting down to flesh out songs, I have daily goals, and most of the time I meet those. Like the first day of actually fleshing out songs, like I stated earlier, I did 3 songs, and 3 or 4 songs. That day I said I wanted to finish 3 songs, so I finished 3 songs or whatever it was. And then the next day I was like, well, I would like to finish at least 5. If I can, we'll see if I can finish 5. And then I finished the 5, and then I think I did a 6th song. And then the next day I was like, well, I mean, if I finish 5 songs, or 6 songs, then maybe I can finish the album today. And that's basically what I did. So I did the next 5 or 6 songs. And yeah, that's just kind of how it rolled. And yeah, important to set goals, daily goals. Important to set long-time goals. I think it really helps with getting through the challenges of writing and recording. Is there anything I would do differently? Not really. This album, I may have mentioned it in a previous video, but I'm finding it really helpful to get skeletons out first. I'm finding that super helpful, because then the basic song structure is there. At least that's what I do, is I'll get out skeletons, get a basic song structure, get some basic ideas out, and then I'll come back to it later. And what the fuck? Just a sec, there's something on my window that shouldn't be inside. Skeletons, get the basic song structure, and then I'd come back to it and flesh things out. And I'm finding, like I said, I'm finding getting skeletons makes the process, the fleshing out process, go a lot easier, and a lot quicker, because then I've got all these basic ideas out, I've got the basic song structure, I've got all the lyrics, and then all I have to do is like flesh things out, do guitars, do vocals, do whatever I need to do, and then I just find it super efficient if I do it that way. And I think I will continue to do it like that, because once again, it's super efficient and I can get things done very, very quickly. Overall feelings and thoughts on our current recording process: everything's very efficient. Things get done very quickly. I'm very happy about that. I'm very excited about doing things in a fashion like that. Even if I'm not really feeling it that day, I feel very good about where I am as far as like this last year has gone. Yeah, I guess there would be one thing I would do differently. I would like to work with someone in studio. I am working with someone on a different album, a hybrid situation where they will come into the studio and they'll get the notes that they need for the various tracks, and then they'll go into their own home studio, and I'll send them the stems, and then they'll do whatever they're going to do with the song, and then they send those stems back to me. And I have done this in the past. I have worked with somebody here in studio. I honestly prefer working with someone in studio. It's a little bit more real time, and it makes it easier, I think, getting whatever they're working on, getting those into a more collaborative state where I can have some input on what they're doing, and then they tweak, and then we record, and that whole thing. I think I just like that collaborative aspect of having someone in the studio. I would say, yeah, that's probably the one thing that I would do differently, and it's kind of like an overall feeling and thought I've had the last little bit. I like the idea of working with someone in studio. Granted, Twitch is a solo project, and I do most of the writing anyway. Matter of fact, I do all of it unless I'm reaching out to someone to actually work on stuff with me. But I think I would like to work with someone in studio just because it adds that random element. It adds new sounds and stuff like that to the recordings, and I like that aspect. Yeah, that's my overall thoughts and feelings on the current recording process, and that is what my current recording process is. I feel it's very efficient, and I don't think there's anything I would change except for the collaboration aspect of it. I'd rather be in studio with someone working on stuff. But that's only when I can. Sometimes it's not possible, and that's it. Just wanted to get into our recording process, what the last album I worked on was, like, and I hope hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully maybe you can take some of these insights and use them in your own endeavors. Maybe you want to get quicker at writing and recording an album, or you just want a boost in your inspiration. Maybe you want to write more music. Whatever it is. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you feel it has value, please share it. If you have any questions or comments regarding our process, please leave them in the comment section. I mean, if you want tips and advice regarding recording process, I can give those to the best of my ability, so leave your questions and comments in the comment section regarding that as well. And if you feel this channel has value, please hit that subscribe button to be notified when the next video comes out. So see you in the next video. Fuck.